You brought up the power play before we broke. Like that's perplexing, right? For everybody. So many great players.
Yeah, it is perplexing, but it was funny. I looked in the, we get the stats like you do, and I was looking at the power play percentage. I knew it would be right at the bottom, and then I saw Colorado and Carolina right next to us. So that doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me either. So I think it's one of those things where when you have some talent on your power play, sometimes you try to pass the puck into the net rather than shoot it into the net. And I think some of these teams that have a little bit of talent on their power play, they tend to do that sometimes. And it's to me, it's mindset. It's about delivering the puck and getting to those, underneath the coverage a little bit to get in the interior and outnumber teams around the net. That's how I think most teams are able to do that. You look at some of the best power plays, and I always look at Edmonton. Connor McDavid gets into that very dangerous area where one person can't cover him, and he's got to get two people to cover him, and then he's, at some point it's getting over to Draisaitl over there or Bouchard, and it's in the net. So it's the attack mentality, I think, that you have to have, and all five players have to have it in sync there to be doing that at the same time.
Is your bigger concern the power play or 5-on-5, do you think?
I think, watching us last night, I had no problem with our 5-on-5. The power play is more concerning to me, is that we got to manufacture some goals. We're not gonna score, be a big 5-on-5 team. Teams are too good now. I mean, we played Philadelphia last night. I think they're top 3 or 4 in the league defensively, and we were able to get in the interior. We just weren't able to convert. The 5-on-5 play, the goals I think are down a little bit. If you don't give them off the rush, you're probably not getting them in the defensive zone a lot. So you've got to generate on the power play a little bit. We're probably more of a 3-1, 3-2 type of team than we are a 6-5 type of team.
Yeah, and your wins show that so far this year.
Yeah. We haven't got enough production from the whole 12 forwards, I would say.
And there's been nothing left in the search to get Steven Stamkos going. Do you talk to Stammer along with Burnett and that process?
Yeah, I probably stayed neutral a little bit. I try to encourage Steven. I think with anything, when you go through these dry spells, I had Ovi who had a dry spell. I think it was, for him, was a big dry spell of like 7 or 8 games at one point. And it's for me, it's just shot volume. A lot of times is finding ways to get open for that shot volume to start. I like the fact that Steven moved around a little bit more and got his shot volume up, because he's one of the best shooters in the league in the last decade. And he's not the player he was, when he was 26, 27. I mean, he's a lot older, but he still has the gift of the shot. He still has a high hockey IQ. And sometimes when you're not scoring, you tend to get paralyzed and not just play the game. And I think when he feels a little bit. So adjusting your game, and he's an intelligent player, is really critical for your evolution as a player. I mean, his game at 25 is probably a lot different than his game right now. And also for probably 7 or 8 or 10 years, he's had Kucherov with as good as a passer and how deceptive he is in terms of his ability on the power play to get it to Steven. We don't have that. So he has to adjust his game. We have to adjust our game a little bit. And I'm very confident that at the end of the day, Steven's going to get on a little bit of a heater here for us, and we're going to be good to go.
It's always amazing to me to know that these guys who have performed at such high levels, like Steven, still can have issues of confidence every once in a while.
Yeah, I think that this game takes a piece of you. I mean, it humbles you, and just when you think you got it figured out, it comes and punches you in the nose a little bit. And so that's why I think the good players adjust, and sometimes it takes some time for them to adjust. I mean, I can look, like I said, I can look around the league, and there's high quality players on almost every team every team that's maybe going through a little bit of a dry spell. Their top guys they're going through that, and it's tough to have confidence when everybody that you walk by and go, it's like, if you walked out in the hallway where you are there, and everybody goes, you okay? What's going on? You all right? You all right? You all right? Yeah, I'm fine. But if everybody's telling you you're not all right, then you start to doubt yourself. So I think it's really hard for. I don't think Steven's gone through a lot of this in his career, so he's probably dealing with it in a different way than someone else does. So, but they all evolve. The great players do. I look at players like Joe Pavelski. He evolved his game, and there's so many of those I'll say veteran top players that they just learned to adjust and figured it out, and hopefully. Between the coaching staff and Steven and his teammates, we can get him on a heater, and he can be very productive for us.
I read some quotes from Bruno, your head coach, Andrew Burnett, and he's had some strong words for a couple of guys. Is that just trying to take ownership of the whole situation, not let things unravel and get out of control?
Yeah, I think so. I think as an evolution of a young coach, and Andrew's a good young coach, is that when you come in and the general manager gives you a future Hall of Famer in Steven Stamkos, and you get a playoff MVP in Jonathan Marchessault, and you're trying to appease them, and you're trying to figure them out a little bit, and there's a respect factor and all those involved. I think Bruno's evolving as a coach. He's learning to balance the part of being demanding and being fair, and that's a hard thing for coaches to do sometimes. And one of the great qualities I think that some of the best coaches in the league have is they're very demanding, but they have a human side, and I think they also have a ability to say what they think. And hold no grudges. There's an honesty to it, and players like that honesty as long as you can get over it the next day. Whatever you say and whatever you feel, you're straight up with the player, and it's the same thing every day. Then players, I think, appreciate that.
Was that easy for you to do?
No, in the early years, it was tough. It's tough for. I think I grew into that, where I would say my piece, and I could come in the next day, and whatever bothered me the day before, you learn to start over again. It's like 51st dates. Wake up the next day and forget about everything else, and let's be better today. I think players can feel they can feel tension if you like them or you don't like them, or if you like their play or don't like their play. So I think you just be honest. Hey, I think you can do this better. You work together. I've gone with the theme a little bit. Last year there was a lot of negative around the Predators, and I said to the coaches, I said to our people in Milwaukee, I've said to our scouts, tell me what they can do. Just tell me what they can do. Don't tell me what they can't do, because that'll be a part where we have to use our development team and yourself to make them better in those areas. But let's enhance what they can do.